It's a football show with a basketball intro.
Well, the top side streets are a dangerous place, so you better tune in to a credible face like this one. Yeah, this one. And you know he's not alone, and they're coming in hot. We got a Lake so Stan and a guy who really likes baseball. I don't know why he likes baseball.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Two-A-Days. It's football day. It's good to be back. I'm not even going to say hello to anybody because I don't care. I don't care about you today. This is about me. This is about football. We're very excited to have on, I don't know, this might be his 10th time. I can't even keep track. TJ from OTM. What's going on, man?
Hello. Football's here. Super pumped.
Yeah, you guys are busy over there. I imagine all 7,000 announcements that came out yesterday was you probably saw a little bit of an uptick over on the OTM site.
Yeah, no doubt. Website was going crazy. And anytime there's an all-day announcement specifically, we definitely get a ton of traffic coming through to the site.
Yeah.
And yeah, really stoked about all the Playbook stuff. I really like what the all-day team has going on there. And it's going to be a fun football season, and kicking off with tonight and flash challenges and Rumble. And there's just tons of stuff to do. It's going to be a fun season.
Yeah, that I was really it seemed like a very concerted effort in the way that they rolled out those announcements. It clearly they had a plan put together there and made sure everything was ready to go before rolling it out. And you can just see, I mean, it seems to have been an overwhelmingly positive response. I haven't seen too much negativity floating around there, and there's just so many different ways to participate with everything, especially with the Playbook. Pretty cool.
Yeah. I mean, I love that. It's, there's a bunch of, seems like there's going to be a bunch of different things to be done each week. It'll, there's going to be a routine, but it also will be kept fresh every week. That's one of the things that I think is pretty, natural with the NFL, is that we all get into our weekly routines. It's we've got, you wake up on Tuesday and you're doing waiver wire for your season long leagues. And then, you start to prepare your DFS lineups. You got Thursday night football, you've got Sunday. And I think it's very smart of them to just kind of integrate all day into that overall routine that people have across their different fantasy leagues, etc.
Yeah, I think they really leaned into that, right? I expected to see some week-long challenges, and I thought we'd see a bunch of different ways to do it. I did not. What I didn't see coming was having a Thursday challenge, a weekend challenge, and a Monday challenge. And I thought that's really cool. I feel like it keeps everyone engaged for those island games, which somehow, I mean, I know it's Thursday night, it's the first night of the game. Everyone's gonna be watching tonight, but week 8, you get Dolphins Jags or something on a Thursday night. I don't know. You might be scheduling something else to do, and then all of a sudden now we've got another challenge lined up for those days. So that I was really excited about these challenges. I think that's going to be a lot of fun. And it doesn't seem not to compare it to Top Shot because they're two different things, but there seems to be a little bit more sustainability with what they're rolling out with these types of challenges versus the Flash Challenge, Metallic Silver Fandom pumps that we would see,
Yeah. And it's not just, assuming I'm understanding everything correctly, it's not just every challenge too is automatically results in a reward or a pack. It's just kind of it's a smaller piece of a bigger picture, which I think is pretty smart for sustainability, where it's the challenge is not, it's just a part of the playbook process. It's not the main feature, and I think
Yeah.
that's kind of a good step in the right direction as well.
Yeah, and it seems again, like I think there's just going to be multiple ways to participate. I also like that, if you're relatively new to it or you're just dabbling around a little bit, there's still ways to participate. Like maybe you're not going to go all the way through and gain like 100 yards or whatever they're calling it, but there's still ways to like win some rewards through that. And I like that it's not just like, well, you have to spend $10,000. That's the only way you're going to get anything. There's gonna be a lot of different ways to play. It's gonna be fun.
Yeah.
I saw you guys release. Let me actually pull up that thread as we talk a little bit about the Rumble streets. But you guys, I'm pretty sure you just tweeted out some goodness recently, right? With maybe some potential Rumble plays. Is that right, or am I making that up?
Yeah. I think we had an article go out yesterday, kind of week 1 strategy.
Mm-hmm.
I believe we're going to have a weekly article where we just kind of talk through the strategy and how to approach the coming week. This first one was a little more extensive. I think we're going to try and just keep it nice and quick. But yeah, basically try to identify what are some moments out there that maybe have good matchups or are playing in the Thursday night game and are kind of a potential upside relative to their current price. So yeah, Rumble has been. The reaction to Rumble has definitely exceeded my personal expectations as well.
So what I'm actually realizing now, I haven't even entered yet. So hold on, we'll do this. We'll do this live. You're gonna help me build my team here. How many entrants are we at to? Last I checked, it was like over 5,400 or something like that.
Yeah, I think we cracked 6,000 at
6,157.
6,157.
All right, be honest. What did you think was your a realistic target for week 1? What were you thinking it was going to be?
My personal guess was 3,500.
Yeah,
that's what I said.
I remember I said 5K.
I was a little. I was like off. It was like still a week before the first game, and I was like, well, I'm clearly not even close on this guess in a good way. But yeah, 3,500 was like the number that I and we have kind of goals and milestones outlined for by certain weeks to get to a certain number of entries, and
right.
We're ahead of schedule.
That's yeah. I was gonna say I think I said 5,000, and then I was like talked down from that, and I was like, all right, well, probably like 3,000 then. I did not see over 6,000. That's awesome.
I've been kind of tracking the entries, and there was a point where it seemed like it was going to kind of stall around like 5,000, and then I think especially yesterday with the Playbook announcement, I think we've seen it's ramping up again in terms of people entering. And then you also have, people like yourself. I would 100% be the same way, where I don't enter a lineup until later in. And yeah, I was even hanging with some of my buddies last night that hadn't entered their stuff yet. So I watched one of my friends live build his lineup and just kind of saw the experience. And yeah, it's fun.
I'm excited about it. I know I saw Poker Pro Eric says never enter your lineups until after Thursday. Well, I can still adjust my lineups.
You can adjust.
Yeah, I can adjust. I'm pretty sure you guys already answered this. I'll throw this up here just so we get it. But I see Milo asking, because of the big number of people joining, is there a chance for a payout increase? My assumption is this is based off the Dapper grant, so probably not, right? Because that's a set.
I would personally love for payouts to increase, but it's not really my decision. But hey, I would think that if the community continues to rally around this and it becomes a major part of what people are doing, like we can definitely as a group make the case that we need more payouts. So I'm fully in favor of it, but I also can't just throw an extra money.
Yeah, just throwing some money, TJ. So all right, wait, if you were building, are you subscribing to the you got to stack in this contest, even though because I at first I thought everyone was going to do that, and now I'm listening to a lot of people say, well, you actually don't have to stack because this isn't like salary capped. But I still subscribe to stacking. Where are you at with this?
I would stack. I mean, I think I think there's a couple things here. I think ownership is going to be extremely condensed. I imagine. So I think that relative to and I'm assuming that people listening to this are like DFS players or at least familiar, but of the 6,000 people entering, I think there's a small percentage of people thinking that way. I mean, I'm in this Facebook group and like, that, yeah, these people aren't
I was
aware of
saying-
leverage and contrary, like,
Well, and that-
everyone's just popping in the same awesome looking lineup, which is like great, but there's so many people that someone's gonna have a random person in the lineup that's low owned that goes off and is,
Right.
it's not just gonna be like, oh, you play, McCaffrey and JT and
yeah.
Cooper
That's
Kupp every single week and print. Like, it just doesn't. We know DFS doesn't work that way.
Because that, and that's, I've like was thinking about this. So there's 6,000 people. I imagine, like 60% of the lineups, maybe even more. I would say probably more. So let's say 70% of the lineups are going to have at least one of Jonathan Taylor or Christian McCaffrey, and probably like 30% are going to have both.
Yeah,
right.
I mean,
and like,
because it's not like it's that. I actually haven't looked at their prices, but it's it's not like it's 100. It's not that expensive to get
both,
right?
Yeah. The other thing I was thinking too, it feels like everyone's going to be playing some version of Herbert or Mahomes. I feel like those are going to be the first two clicks we see, especially because Mahomes has a lot of different moments that you're able to get access to. So and originally I was like, oh, I'm going to play Mahomes, but I don't think I'm going to now. I think if I want to, I still kind of like that game, but I almost want to attack it from Kyler, which I think might be a little.
You've got nice options at quarterback. I was about to say.
Yeah, we went shopping.
Yeah.
We went shopping.
Yeah. Okay. The bags are packed.
The bags are packed.
But yeah, and I guess that is good. Going back to the stacking is maybe you don't need to. I do think it's probably pretty important to have one of the like top 6 elite quarterbacks, right? Like,
yeah.
I think there's a pretty clear separation after the Kyler Hurts range.
Yeah, I know. And I was thinking too, like, if I'm looking back at the other options, like Burrow's fine. But I don't think I want to play someone like, I don't know, if I'm not playing Mahomes or Herbert, I need to play someone that has like the same upside as them. And that's got to be one of these like rushing guys too.
3, yeah.
Yeah.
Right. So yeah, if you're playing like a Lamar, a Jalen, or a Kyler, those are the kinds of guys where you don't need to. I mean, this is the same in regular DFS where you don't need to feel like you have to stack them up. So I think that's probably fine. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what the lineups end up looking like. I think I'm gonna start with Kyler, even though I kind of like, because this is a Jalen rare moment, which we can talk about the hero a little bit too. True.
That's why that's kind of interesting. But we'll start with him, and then we'll go down, plug in Marquise Brown. And then I think this will be the chalkiest of them all, but you do a little bring back in the stack, right? And just throw. We don't have to worry about it being chalky because we're playing Kyler and Marquise Brown, I think.
Yep. I mean, I like that start.
All right. Now running back, I feel like with running back, maybe because I'm being as different as I am, it's probably fine to play like a McCaffrey. But dude, these are the two guys that Jones and Kamara, who I don't think are going to get. They'll get some ownership, but not enough considering the scoring is PPR. So I feel like those guys are going to be used quite a bit. No.
Yeah, and it's maybe a 2 or 3 year old take at one point, but I remember the passing running backs against Atlanta was a strong thing for 2 or 3 years. So I don't know if that still applies into this year, but
I like it.
Kamara definitely catches the eye there. Yeah, I mean, McCaffrey is just such a lock.
Yeah. And if I'm gonna fade one of them, I'll fade Taylor, especially because I don't have them, so that makes it an easier decision. All right, so now look at this. We got a little game stack. We get some pass catching backs. Let's go play another wide receiver. What's fun about this is that I don't really have to, like, if Cooper Kupp goes off, I can change it. Listen, if we're gonna continue to build, let's do this. We're gonna take Kamara out. We're gonna put Jones in. So that way we can play.
So Cooper Kupp's interesting. So I wonder what the like point threshold tonight of what Cooper Kupp scores that like makes him a lock versus not. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, is it like, if he scores like 25 points, is that like, oh, you have to have him, or it's like, that's actually probably not enough. Like, that's going to be, especially for the first week, because you don't know, right? You don't really have a feel for like what's needed. But
I think if he goes for 100 yards and a touchdown, and like say 8 catches for 100 and a touchdown, I'm not playing him.
Yeah.
But if he gets that like 2 touchdown and 100 yards, you're gonna need him. You're gonna.
I think it has to be like the 30+ is where it becomes like the must.
Yeah, I think
must
so too.
Lock in a way.
I think so too.
And yeah, I'm also curious to see how the Thursday wrinkle compares to how it worked in the owners club, because I think in Rumble it's probably like more apparent when something is a lock, right? Just because with TOC and the full position grouping, like it's if a wide receiver group goes off on Thursday night, there's still so many other wide receiver groups that would have a chance of catching or beating that score. Whereas when it's a single player that goes off for 30 points on Thursday night, like how many individual players are really going to outscore that? So I think it kind of narrows the range a bit more.
Absolutely. But I also think like where that can still be applied though is for the defense, right? Like if we see the Bills or Rams have like a pretty good defensive game tonight, I wonder, like similar to what we were saying with Cooper Kupp, what is the score? Like what number do they have to hit for you to be like, oh, no other defensive unit can outscore either one of those two teams. So I think that'll be, because like we saw that in the preseason one, which was really hard, like you don't want to take too much alpha from the preseason game, right? But we saw the Texans get like 20 points or something like that, and it was like, okay, 37% of the field I think ended up playing the Texans D. I wonder like if somebody gets 20 tonight, do we see everybody just plug in the Bills and Rams and go from there?
Yeah. I think in the preseason it was more extreme because basically none of the players were really projecting to score many points. So it was like the defense to begin with was the most safe play, and for them to go off on the night before. But that's another one. And then it's just gonna be interesting to see like the ownership conversations of, and so the plan for tonight is that we're gonna have I think we're gonna have this. Don't fully hold me to it, but we're trying to have like basically a live running of how many points people are scoring in that game.
That's great.
So we're gonna try to get the most basic version of that out today, but then in the future we also want to basically picture the OTM sniper page, but only showing people that are playing in the game. Basically, give somewhere where people can like see live transactions from the two teams playing.
Yeah.
And we want the habit to be that like during the Thursday night game, like you have OTM and Rumble open in your tabs, and like you're using that to kind of sweat the game. We got the Flash Challenge terminal up earlier today. It's a pretty simple Flash Challenge for this, but how it will work. So if you scroll down below that, I think
there we go. Sorry.
So now it's just showing so this is all of the players that have a moment in tonight's game. So I saw some people commenting like we're missing players. So Allen Robinson is probably what they're thinking about, but that's not because of Allen Robinson's team change. It's just because he doesn't have a moment yet. Right. So that's why him specifically is not listed here. But so this has the project, and we just pull like stock projections from our data provider. So don't we're not like grinding projections here. Just so everyone knows. So if you like have a qualm with the projections, that's we're not creating them ourselves, but it just kind of gives the baseline, and then this will update live throughout the game. So you can just kind of get a feel for, again, this one's a super simple challenge. I imagine they'll get more complex in the future. Right. But just gives you that idea of who's likely to be in the challenge, who's having a good game so far, what is their lowest ass moment, and try to like identify those bottlenecks and such accordingly. Yeah.
This is great. There's just gonna be so much happening. Like every single game. It's gonna be so fun.
Tonight, like Thursday nights, and Sunday's obviously gonna be
nuts.
Insane. I don't even think I've comprehended what Sunday is going to be like. Not even just from an OTM perspective, just from like a life perspective of all the football things that are happening.
I know in New York it was like a little chillier this morning too, and I was like, hell yeah, it's here.
It's real. Like I swear, the day after like starting Tuesday this week, it just got cold. Like, now it's just like now it's officially fall. We're dropping the temperature by 20 degrees, and you're wearing pants, and I kind of love it. I'm ready for it.
I'm so happy about it. I'm so happy. All right, I want to go back over to Rumble too, just for a second. So we got now it's the flex time, and this is where I'm probably going to use my hero. And I wonder too, like how many people for their specifically their flex are just going to pump in a running back, because it seems like the running backs are the safer ones. Where I think I'm not going to do that. I think I would rather play a wide receiver and use like my hero here. So whether it's, and I kind of like that, like CeeDee Lamb or Godwin both playing on, I think we might just put CeeDee Lamb in there and just make them Also, here's a question for the heroes. Do I have to do anything in particular? Or does it automatically select?
No,
like,
so
the
it's
one-
automatic, but like for example, take out your Kyler and put
Yep.
in Hertz.
Yeah.
So
Then,
you can still use that Hertz as the non-hero now, but now if you click the star, now Hertz is your hero.
okay, cool. Cool.
So if you only are putting one rare or legendary in, it just automatically defaults that to the hero. And then but if you want to change it and you add another one in, that's how you do that.
Okay. That's good. That's super helpful.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think this would be my squad. I'm realizing now I don't have a lot to choose from defense, and I think the Kansas City I guess Carolina playing Jacoby Brissett would be my play right there. But now I'm learning I guess Denver Seattle.
We don't have the matchups in here. Yeah, the defense gets a little tricky from the coding side, so we don't have the opponents and stuff in there. But yeah,
I think maybe we do it's the Monday Night Hammer. The Monday Night Hammer.
Love that. Love that. Why not? Just for the sweat. I mean,
I know. So I think I'll absolutely change this, but just so the people see that we're submitting it and this is what it'll look like. But this is great. I think there was so much hype on it already. Like there was so much excitement around Rumble. This was before like all of the all day announcements that we got. And now for it not to be, because I can only imagine the scrutiny and just like psychotic nature of everyone in the chat. If that was like the only thing that we had, like if it was like the only utility of all day or the only thing that would engage in the platform is Rumble, everybody would be losing their damn mind. So now to have this, we've got like over 6,000 people in it, but then also all the other challenges. And like you said, being able to pull up, both OTM and the Rumble page as you go. I think it's going to be a lot of fun.
Oh yeah. Yeah. And like, our goal too is that following this week, make it as easy as possible for people to re-enter. So we're going to have like a one-click, like import last week's lineup where, so you can just go in on like Tuesday and just like, okay, I at least have my placeholder in where I'm just pulling in with one click the exact lineup I used the previous week. That way, worst case scenario, if I forget, I've at least know I have a lineup that I built one time before.
Yeah.
So
that's great.
Yeah, it's going to be fun.
Easy. Should we poke around on the moment just a little bit too, like with some of the tools that
see
All
what
Day
we got
has
going on?
Yeah, I know we started with here, I'll just go back to the homepage of All Day. And I know we just looked at the Flash Challenge terminal, and I'm sure people have been aware of the sniper too. So you can see some deals pop up as they come in. And where have you been seeing like the most interaction for you guys on the All Day side of things? Like, is there something that your users you feel like utilize the most over here?
Definitely the sniper on like a daily basis. I think we're the only place where there's a tool like this for All Day. So, for the most part, like when you're sitting on the all day site, you see the deals go away pretty quickly because people are sitting on there buying the deals. And like, so you could go in here and filter by the Rams and the Bills and like only look at people that are playing tonight and use it in that way. So sniper has definitely been a big one. And then anytime there's any kind of challenge announced, that's always been kind of the bread and butter for over a year now with Top Shot. And, I just think that it's a nice, easy way to, as soon as the challenge is announced, like you just go to the OTM site, see what your progress already looks like, see how much it costs you to finish it, what you need to buy. Yeah. And so, those are definitely two big ones, but we've also been getting a ton of interest and clicks on any kind of like content articles that we put out for Rumble. People definitely read the articles. We've noticed specific to Rumble or anything All Day related. I mean, All Day is, we've still, obviously we got the Top Shot base too, but can definitely, I would say that as OTM, our market share of All Day is like really high. Like
really?
Yeah. I mean, there's really not much else out. Like for for Top Shot, we were like maybe the third or fourth tool that really came into the mix, and I think we've stuck with it more than anyone else in terms of like continuing to deliver new stuff. And then for All Day, I think we're doing a solid job there. And I would love to know too, like what the percentage of people who did not engage with Top Shot at all from start to finish, but have
mess around with all day. Like I would love, I mean, I'm sure they don't share those numbers unless they're good. It's like Netflix, right? Like you only share the numbers if they're really, really
They're good.
good. And I guess it wouldn't be advantageous for Dapper to do that, to be like, yeah, look at all of these people on NFL all day that don't like Top Shot. But I would be just curious, like what that's been looking like. Because it does seem to be more active engagement right now. And clearly, I mean, it's the beginning of the football year, so it makes sense. But yeah, it's interesting.
I think there's a ton of overlap for sure. But I do think that All Day has also brought in a new population of people that maybe either like never did Top Shot, or maybe they did Top Shot, February, March back in the glory days, and then have sat out since, but then came back for All Day.
Yeah.
And the thing, one of the most interesting things to me is, like I mentioned it before, but I'm in this Facebook group, and like it's just a whole different population of people relative to like our little Twitter, YouTube, Discord bubble. Like these people aren't on Twitter, they're not on Discord,
right?
And so like that's just been fun for me to just kind of like observe the conversations there. And like, I mean, there's also just, we just get so far in the bubble. Like there's literally people in there that are, opening their pack and deciding to burn, and like they're posting their pack, and there's a Jamar Chase in there, and they're like, should I burn this? So it just goes to show like the level of what people, they just don't know.
Yeah.
And that's why I think it's important for people like us and you to like keep trying to expand out of our existing user bubbles and like really provide that education for people that are coming into this, so that they like, I think we pulled the data and there's been like 50 Josh Allens burned.
Whoa.
Because people just don't know, like, I guess they don't know football. I don't know. It's interesting.
Wow. So, or like, I think people are so, the idea of like, well, I would have a shot.
They want the legendary.
Like, I have a shot at legendary. I'm burning 3 moments to get 4 moments without like, so it's a quick burn. Wait, when you were talking about this Facebook group, is this like an all day specific Facebook group?
Yeah. It's called NFL All Day OGs. Yeah. So,
wow.
Yeah, this one guy started it, and he had reached out to me like a couple months ago and was basically like, hey, I've got, and it's mostly older people.
Yeah. Boomers.
But it is. And it's but like I mix it up in there sometimes, like answer some people's questions. But like I said, it really is a bit of a refreshing perspective on like, the different people that are involved in this, and like also zooming out. I mean, that's how NFL All Day and Top Shot are really going to succeed, right? When you have the quote unquote boomers and their kids, and like people that are not just in this to like grind edges, but like are truly in it for fun, and like they're obviously trying to make a little money, but
no, but that's how you're absolutely cool. Right. That's how it has to work. And that's why, like, a lot of people were, when you saw like the Ticketmaster announcement a couple weeks ago or last week, it was like, oh yeah, cool. But whatever, that doesn't like impact me too much. But I think like the bigger point is kind of like what you were saying with this Facebook group, where it's just another thing that like gets it out there. That's like, it normalizes it a little bit more on a thing that people understand. You're like, oh, this is my ticket to get in. It's like almost no different than like scanning a QR code to go in, right? Like that's how,
and that's what it's, that's where we're headed. Yeah. I mean, it's just, sometimes I try to just sit back and zoom out a little bit and think about like, things like the Ticketmaster and just all the partnerships and big name IP and the licensing agreements and just like all the money, like from important people that's being put into this space, that it's like, and these people aren't like thinking that tomorrow Web3 is, but like, they're thinking about what does the world look like in 5 years, 10 years, and working backwards from that. And so that's one thing for me personally that I've been trying to do, because it like, especially the last couple of months, we've been just heads down on so many things. And it's for like we have our Jolly Jokers, we have the Owners Club. They didn't launch as soon as we wanted to, but are launching soon. But then it's also like taking a step back and being like, you know what? It doesn't really like launching Jolly Jokers in July or September, like it doesn't really matter, right? It's in the big picture, it's not really going to matter. And I think, at least for me, like to keep my own mental sanity, it's like important to step out of that and be like, okay, it's not the end of the world. Like the same big picture goals are here, both at OTM and like the wider industry. And so, yeah, I think that's always important.
Right. Like it's those. Yeah. I totally get that of being like, oh yeah, of course this wasn't ideal with the timeline that we set, but this doesn't torpedo anything. Like
Yeah,
this
it doesn't. I
isn't
mean, it
that.
doesn't change why we were,
Yeah.
why we did this to begin with, and that's what I've been saying with the owners clubs stuff as well. Is like, the again zooming out, it wasn't like the specific goal is like, okay, to have the best week 1 2022 NFL contest ever. It's like, no, how do
Right.
we set ourselves up so that 3 years from now we have,
Right.
the best contest across multiple sports? And it's like, we're still tracking towards that goal. It's just like
Yeah.
a little bit more behind, and that's
Well,
okay.
and it's tough too because you like, of course, you want to have it ready to go for week 1, right? Like, of course. But if you roll this out and it's not ready, and then a lot of people's first experiences are bad, it's tough. And I
Exactly.
mean, I thought you guys did such an interesting thing last year with TOC, and I mean, I know I've said this before. Like the TOC was some of the most fun I had doing fantasy in a while last year. Like that was a blast. And I think the Thursday wrinkle, which we're going to see with Rumble, it was such a cool thing that initially I was like, oh, I don't really know how that's going to work. And then to see like, because you have the marketplace, it changes everything. Because then you have to decide, is it worth me trying to go for first, or is it worth me selling this for money? All right. Right. So like, it's such a nice added wrinkle. But I thought you guys did such a cool thing last year where like it was a little bit shaky when you rolled out because you had some issues with OpenSea and all that stuff. And then you guys were like, well, all right, fine. We'll build our own marketplace and we'll do it that way. And like, sure, it didn't like smooth. It wasn't like the smoothest of rollouts, but once you had that up and running, like everybody's experience was pretty positive and easy to, to maneuver around. I'm sure there were some people out there that like were like, well, it killed my ability to flip it right away. But I think anybody that was in there playing the game, like it was way easier doing it that way than being on OpenSea.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
And like, to me, the people that you just mentioned there that just wanted to flip, and,
yeah,
they weren't going to be long-term customers anyways. So it's
right,
like, all right, like,
right,
if, yeah. And like for TOC right now, it's, the goal is that by the end of, this season, and like grow over the course of the season too. I think that's another thing. It's just also different, right? Like last year was in the hype of NFTs. And so like
hmm
the TOC drop was like a hype thing. And like we needed to build the hype. And I don't feel that same way anymore. Like
yeah,
we're not trying to like overhype it or whatever. We're just trying to provide like what we think is a really, really cool product for the people that want to play it, and kind of let the product speak for itself and let customer testimonials and kind of organic word of mouth speak for itself. And
yeah,
yeah, we're excited to get all of that stuff going. And like, there's, it's kind of like there's already so many things going on for week 1 anyways. It's not going to be the worst thing that, it's kind of like slow rollout now. Like, okay, I just got
yeah,
the hang of like playing Rumble. Now I'm going to add like TOC best ball into the mix. I'm like, okay, now I'm going to get involved in the next TOC
right,
game. So there's
right.
just so many different things going on that it'll help kind of onboard people in a one step at a time process.
Yeah, definitely. And again, it's like you said, we're talking about building it for the future so that like for years to come, it's ready to go, not just for week 1 of 2022. I see Tom, I hadn't heard this take yet. And Tom said I'd pay Ticketmaster to get NFTs from previous events I've been able to go and order history and get ones. Would love to have a collectible from a Kobe game, Favre game. Man, that's such a cool idea that didn't even cross my mind. That's pretty cool.
This is actually something I've always kind of thought about, of like,
Yeah.
in the future world where Ticketmaster is integrated with Top Shot and with All Day and with the tickets of going to the game, of like, okay, I go to a Sixers game and I own the NFT of the ticket to that game, and there's a cool Joel Embiid moment from that game, and you can
Yeah.
only get access to that moment if you were the one that were at
Dude,
that game. Like
I
stuff
love
like
that.
that, I think would be sick.
Even if that's not a sellable thing, too, like just having,
Yeah,
like,
just
you know what
no,
I mean?
yeah. Oh, yeah. It's not. Yeah, I think that it would almost be better if those things like weren't even sellable. It's more
Yeah.
like then it becomes truly like your fandom,
Yeah.
and like there's like a different part of your collection of like, oh, here's all the cool moments from all the games that I've been to. And even expanding beyond sports, like one of the like I like going to concerts. And
Yeah.
like I would love if I just had in my digital wallet like every concert that I've ever been to. Like
Yeah.
even just a record of that. And like sure, I could have been tracking that on like a cork board my whole life, but I'm
Yeah.
not gonna do that. But like if it was just like there, I think that would be cool. And it's like you click in and it's like, oh, here's a song from that concert or a
No, I
play
love
from that
that.
game. Like I think that yeah, who knows how the money side of that works, but
No, I
I
love
think
that.
it's all part of the journey of like NFTs being more than just like JPEGs that you flip to make money. Like actually,
Yeah.
being a part of your real life experiences and
Yeah.
memories and all that.
I was even thinking too, I would have loved like an NFT instead of, because I still have like screenshots on my phone from when I've won like a GPP in a DraftKings tournament.
Yep.
And because then I was thinking about like how the TOC best ball and how that like ends up being an NFT that you have, like being able to have that, I think would be kind of cool. And again, that's for nobody but me. Like no one's gonna want
Nah,
that
I
from
mean,
me,
yeah,
but I would love that.
one of my ideas is like, for something like Rumble or TOC, like I think it would be cool if, you cash in Rumble, and then when you
Yeah.
cash in Rumble, like we give you the option of like, hey, do you want to turn your lineup into an NFT? And it's like a small fee.
Yeah.
That's another thing. Like we need to find ways to like make at least a little bit of money off of some of this stuff. But it's
Right.
like
Right.
you pay a couple bucks and you can turn your lineup into an NFT that sits in your wallet. And like also if you
Yeah.
don't want to do that, you don't have to. But like just like a little like kind of micro upgrade type
Um,
of things built into the experience, I think would be cool for the collectors, and then also gives us some like business model type of options where people can pay to upgrade different things as a part of the
Yeah.
experience.
I again, maybe that's just so specific to me, but because truly when I was traveling this weekend and was just like deleting a bunch of shit in my phone and was going through all these photos, and then I got to a screenshot from when I won an NBA tournament last year, and I was like, man, this would be so sick if this was just in my wallet, like in my showcase of whatever in
Yeah,
my
you just
Dapper
have like your
wallet, you know?
trophy, your like
Yeah,
screenshot trophy case of
yeah,
like, yeah,
I would love that. I would love
I
that.
think that'd be
I
cool.
like that idea. All right, went on tangents, but I think
Yeah.
those were good. I enjoyed those tangents.
Oh, this
Anything
was fun.
anything else going on in your world that you guys are like excited about as we're heading into tonight? Anything else that we should make sure we hit upon, or maybe like anything else from the announcements yesterday that got you guys excited on your end, either as just like football fan collectors or as OTM?
Yeah, the playbook stuff in general, like
Yeah,
super pumped about that. Excited for that to just become a part of the weekly routine. Obviously excited for the first week of Rumble contest and seeing all that come together. And
yeah,
then yeah, in the next like 3 weeks here, we'll be coming at you with TOC pack drops, with Jolly Jokers minting. All of that is getting very close to the point where either tomorrow or early next week we'll definitely be like announcing the official mint dates and kind of getting back into building up towards that. So
nice.
yeah, and just like quick overviews, but people that don't know, TOC, the Owners Club, is our Web3 fantasy football game where you can buy packs of NFTs and use them in fantasy contests. So it's kind of like a bit of an extension to Rumble, where rather than using your all day moments, you're buying the NFTs directly from us and using them in contests where you can win real money. Had almost $2 million in prizes over the course of last season. So that was a ton of fun. And then the Jolly Jokers is our PFP on flow that comes with utilities such as lifetime access to OTM Premium for all day and Top Shot, some like token gated contests with TOC future. I saw what you're doing with the Rumble contest, and
Yeah,
like
I was just gonna
you know
share this too. I saw JK say to have a private Rumble league where the season-long winner of the league gets
yeah,
an NFT trophy. But yeah,
yeah,
because we saw it once, it was like 6,000 people. I'm like, man, it's hard to cash. Like you're top
it is
5%. It's gonna be tough, which is good. I
I,
like that. But I was like, oh, what if we fire up our own little private league and see how it goes?
yeah, and it's definitely a medium to long term goal to have that type of ability like directly on platform where you can create private contests. This could also end up being something where there's a monetization aspect, but like you
Yeah.
pay a small fee, and that allows you to have create a private 10-person contest, and then you play that 10-person contest with your buddies, and you're all putting $20 on the side, or like so all basically paying to host those contests on platform. I think would be pretty fun, and people would be into that.
Yeah, because having it on because right now essentially I have a Google Doc that I'm updating, and then like as your scores update, I'll just put it in there. It's like easy enough. It's an extra step, whatever. But if you are like looking at Rumble and have a drop down of your like okay, own the moments rumble. You've got team hold, whatever, like 5 contests you're doing. I don't know. But I love that. I think that's the future of it for sure. That is being able to participate. I like, again, though, and it's way easier to do this on All Day, I think, than it is on Top Shot, but like that gamification is definitely, I mean, I know every NFT project is like, we got a game, but this one is different in the sense that it's fantasy football. I think it's gonna move the needle for people.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. And you know, our hopes is also that, you know, Rumble and this game is just the beginning of a future suite of games across different sports. And you know, long term, that's certainly the vision. It's just about making the financials for OTM as a business align with our ability to create that stuff for the community. So that's kind of a constant balance that we're working through. I mean, the majority of the stuff that we've been doing for 18 months has been, you know, mostly free. Right. And we've been able to do that, but we can't do that forever.
At some point, you got to get paid.
the time for that is coming, but hopefully we've proven enough value and built enough cool stuff over time that people will understand that that's the way that the world works. If you want us to keep building cool stuff, we need to just make sure we have the right amount of cash coming in the door too.
Yeah. And again, I've said this before, I think with you on stream, and I've also without you on stream, but coming from like the fantasy background, that's just kind of like the way, right? Like it's what I'm used to. It's like, oh yeah, you want like really good projections, you have to like pay for them. And it becomes normal, right? So it becomes normal. And I think as long as people are feeling like this is actually worth what I'm putting in, then I don't think people will have problems with it. But anytime something across the board too, like everyone doing stuff pretty much for free early on, I know it takes like a minute for people to get it, but I think it's the way. As Regulator said, this is the way.
This is the way.
Sweet, man. Well, I'm looking forward to everything you guys have cooking up. I appreciate you coming on and doing this. It's just freaking good to have football back, man.
So excited. Yeah, we'll be in touch for sure.
Yeah.
And no, you've got. Can you give me the quick breakdown of everything? I know you. I've seen it, and you guys are doing a ton now. I love the expansion of everything you're doing. Because you have. Are you and John are doing a Tonight Show and a Sunday show? Or
I'm just jumping. This is the first time John's doing playback, so I'm jumping on for his playback tonight. We are doing like the Sunday morning fantasy like prep type show. So we're doing that for football. We've got Monday, Wednesday, Friday, except for today. We also have a Thursday one, and then the Sunday morning show, and then NBA. We're still doing Monday through Friday. We still have like a happy hour. It's a lot, man, but it's good.
Yeah, you're killing it, and like every time I tune in, you've got like the same energy level, which to me is just like, whew, that's impressive. Like it's good. I did like your rant yesterday, though. I love a good Zakarian rant. That's
well, I feel like we hadn't had one in a while too, so that was like a 30-minute one. That it's funny. I've had more time to think about it too, and we won't get into it. To me, like the decision of what happened, I totally understand. Like, I'm sure we've all been in those spots where it's like, oh, this is going to piss people off, but we have a deal in place. We have to do this thing. I get it. But the response to it was, I don't know. I don't get it. You don't comment. I won't make you comment on anything. But I'm comfortable doing it. Yeah, I'm comfortable doing it. All right, man. Well, this was good. Cool. I really appreciate you coming on. I'm going to go drink some tea as I can feel my throat quickly eroding. But you guys know this. We use OTM all the time. We're happy to be partnered with them. So I'll drop a link to OTMNFT.com, but I know you guys are already in there. And then, go follow TJ. Go follow On the Moment. Go be nice to people in here.
Thanks, everyone.
All right. Take care, guys. Once I can find the video. All right. We're out.
Well, the top side street